God is not interested the ground and fruit and all the other things. So God have accepted the offering that Abel have brought. Why? Because people suddenly started thinking, well, Jesus, he have connected with some stories that we could hear, like he is the shepherd and we are the sheep. So he is worrying for the sheep, so that Jesus is for the sheep. So this work is good. And some other place we could hear the parable, like 100 sheep are there and one have lost, and that shepherd is going and finding the lost one. See, that is how we should search the sheep. So all these connections, so we call Jesus as the lamp of God. With these connections, people have started thinking in this way, that no, Abel is the one who does a good work, and Cain, he's not doing that. See, that is what the preliminary understanding, very basic understanding, but that's not the story. See, God is not looking unto the work, and he is not interested by the work that human beings are doing. See, every work is created by God. See, he is the creator of the universe. For God, that nothing is big and small. See, in the time of Reformation, when Martin Luther have wrote 95 Theses and nailed in the Wittenberg church, that by that time the social background is entirely different. There is the big gap between the people, common people, and the priest. The priests were called by God. That is what the understanding is. And the common people are not called by God. If you have been common people, you have been doing some other work, you are not called by God. So that if some priest is there, then the understanding is the priests are called by God. So there was a big gap between the priest and the common people. And one thing is that the priest can attain God for all the sins that you do. You have to come and get rid of all the sins by confessing it to the priest and getting paying money for it. And all these stuffs have been taught in the before the Reformation have happened. Then Martin Luther have saw all this thing. He have seen this, and he have come to the conclusion with the scriptures. He is calling all the people come back to the scripture. Why? Because by that time, the Bible was only in Latin, and common people don't have that. And he have read all this stuff, and what the practice of the church is against the scripture. And then Martin Luther, the Reformation process have told the people, all work which you do is by God, and it's from God. Every work that you do is from God. It's not like some work is not for God, and all the other works, which the ministerial thing that you do is it's from God. It's wrong. That's not the case. Then what happens? People have started believing it, and they have been working for God's sake. Whatever work you do, that is from God and that is for God. That is what the understanding, and God sees work in that way. It's not like there's some work that you do in the world, like it's not like sacred and secular. Everything is sacred, and there is nothing called like sacred. That is the original perspective when the tabernacle worship was there. The temple have come in, the people have started segregating like sacred and secular. It's not like that. The social living and the religious living is entirely separated. But in the original setting, when the tabernacle was there, it's not like that. Then Martin Luther has been taking in that point, you have come back to the scripture, and in the basis of work you can't be discriminated. See, here some people work for the corporation and they take all the garbages. If they don't come, what will happen? All this place will be ruined. You can't be able to live over here in the city. But what is the ultimate thing? You are doing God's work, so that you have to do this. And in what way we have to treat them? Is it right the way that we have been treating them? Some people thinking and telling, for God you are doing, you do it, brother, but we don't give anything to you. That is what the today's understanding is. See, it's not like telling God's name, and we are not here to give some false propagation. Rather, we tell it in God's name, and we promote dignity, we promote self-respect, we promote humanitarian concern, and we promote justice, and we promote all the the right that which he have to get for the work that he do. That is what the original thing is about.